Hello everyone, my name is Mariam and welcome to my Inkscape tutorial. Last time we did download and install Inkscape on PC, and we did have a look how to change the theme and how to change the page border. Today we are going to have a quick tour in Inkscape and we are going to start learning the first lesson about how to zoom and panning on Inkscape. So when you open Inkscape for the first time, you will find on the left menu, on the left side, it's called Editing and Drawing Tool. And basically the first one is Selection Tool, which you will use it when you want to select any object. So if you want to select any object on the screen, you simply click on it and you come with your cursor, select the object you want, and here we go, that's selected. If you want to select more than one object, you click Shift, and while you are holding Shift key, you select the other one, the third one, the fourth one. Whenever you want to select everything on the screen, Control A will select everything on the screen. If you want to deselect, then you simply press Escape on your keyboard. Or you come on any empty area in the canvas and you just do one click. After that, you will find here Editing Path by Node, and we will talk about the path in a separate tutorial. Then we have 4 versatile shapes in Inkscape. The first one is to draw rectangles or square, and that's example how to draw and how the design looks like. Controlling the actual shape can make totally different design, from corners, sharp corners, round corners. You can change the fill, the stroke, which is the outline of the shape, giving a different style, different pattern, give you completely different look at the end. For the circle or ellipse, or to make oval or arcs, that's an example in the second row. That's a full circle, a bit open, like an arc, like the pizza shape. Also, again, different feel, different stroke, give you completely different look. And in each single one of those, we'll have a separate tutorial to learn how to do all the options. The one after it's for stars and polygons. And when you have a look, if you click on any of them, another menu appears on the top. That one called the Tool Control Bar. So it's controlling the tool you just selected. And of course, each one in this menu in Editing and Drawing Tool will open a different tool control bar on the top. And that's how the design can be totally different. So this is for stars and polygons. And when you hover on any icon on Inkscape, you will find a description underneath says what it is. So this one says create stars and polygon. And also when you click on hover, most of the times it comes up with a shortcut. So this one, it says at the very end, ellipse and arcs, E between brackets. That means if you click on E on your keyboard, simply you are going to have the same result as clicking on the icon itself. The other one, you have 3D shapes, spirals, and this is example of the stars and polygon. If you can't believe it, I did this mandala in 1 second. It's just a star, played with the style of the stroke and the feel and the handles. It gave me this result. How amazing is Inkscape? It is honestly one of the best software I ever used, and there is no limitation in your designing. And also when we have a look at the last row here, that is a spiral shape. I did it from the tool menu, and simply by controlling turns, divergence, or inner radius, I managed to give a totally different effect. Of course, the different color and the thickness of the stroke, that is something also can be used to control it. But here that's a beautiful swoosh. It's simply I did a spiral and I selected a very little number of turns, and simply this is how it looks like at the end. Beautiful. Those tools, it start to be like the freehand drawing. So we have a Bezier tool, we have a freehand. You can use even your stylus on the laptop to draw with, calligraphy brushes, and again you come up with a huge menu on the top, writing tools, and here the gradients, which is controlling the colors, So basically, when this one you have a look, you will find gradients. It's not a solid color. I'm going from darker to lighter, from a different color, from greenish to yellow. I'm here from yellow to orange, and that's amazing. If you want to do anything on your website, or you want to make stickers for print and cut on Cricut, but generally, if you just do design to use vinyl or cardstock, then it really doesn't matter the color, because whatever you place on the mat is the color you select. But Inkscape, this is the advantage for it. So we are learning it mainly for our Cricut Design Space or Silhouette machine, or any cutting machine, that we design what we want. We go to File, Save As, and you save your document as SVG. And then when you do that, you can just upload it on your cutting machine software like a Cricut Design Space. Here, that is sort of picking colors, feeling bounded, tweak, and again, we will mention everything step by step. We'll go from the scratch, like what we did with Cricut Design Space tutorials. Depends on your resolution. The menu may have more options. For mine, I have an arrow at the bottom, and it shows more menu like a spray eraser, connector, zoom, and measure. Now, what is on the right side? This is the snapping tool, and we will explain again later what is the snapping for. It helps us with alignment perfectly. At the bottom, the colors, there is a fill and stroke color. So the fill is the color inside the object, and the stroke is the outline. And simply, if I need to select any color for any object, I just click on one of those palette or swatches. It has heaps of color. And if I need to select a color for the stroke, which is the outside line, I need to do Shift. And while you are holding it, you click on one of those colors to change the outline color. On the top menu, of course, we have a file, edit, view layer like any software, and some of them, when you open it, it has arrow on the right side, open another menu. The second row on the top, it has basically shortcut for the most common things you are gonna use. So for example, grouping, ungrouping, and when you hover on it, it gives you a description, what is it for, and between brackets it says the shortcut. So this one says Shift Control T. So if I do now on my keyboard Shift Control T, text and font dialog will be open. And simply to close the dialog, these three dots here, you simply click on it, and that's it. Now be sure that the lockpad is locked once you open software, because it's by default it's unlocked. So it's different than Cricut Design Space, which is by default is locked. To always speed your designing time and to be very professional, you need to memorize the shortcut on the keyboard for the most common one. It's a bit hard to memorize all of them because there are hundreds, but if you get stuck, you forget how to group, you can select this one, for example, or you can go to Object and Group. Always there is a reminder on the right side telling you the shortcut. Almost most of the functions in Inkscape has a shortcut on your keyboard. Now let's go through zooming and panning for today. You have the screen on, and to do zooming, you simply need to press on plus on your keyboard or equal. Now I am zooming in. If I click on the minus, I am zooming out. Option number 2, by holding Control and using the scroll wheel of your mouse. Now I'm zooming in. I am holding Control key and moving the scroll wheel the other side down. That will zoom out. Option number 3, you can hold the Control and you can do right or middle click. If you do Shift and right or middle click, that will zoom out. Option number 4, you have at the very bottom right corner of the screen a percentage. You can click on the plus or minus, or you can type as a percentage you want, like let's say 50, hit enter. That will give a precise zooming. The other option, if I want to select a specific object and just to do a quick zooming, then click on Q letter on your keyboard. That will make sort of quick zooming. Once I release letter Q, then it goes back to the normal screen. And as a last option of zooming, you can do it from the tool menu. So here you may find it at the very bottom of your menu, but here for myself, I need to click on the arrow, go to zoom. You'll find the actual cursor changed to a magnifier, and simply I need to click to do zooming in. But the other thing as well, when we select to zoom, a top menu appears, a plus and minus, which does the same job you do on your keyboard. 1-to-1 ratio, 1-to-2 ratio, some other options you can try. Now we have the control bar on the right. If you want to make that control bar disappear, click Control B. They now disappeared. If I do Control B again, they appeared. To do panning in the page, there are several options as well. Simply with the scroll wheel of your mouse, you can move up and down, so it moves the screen vertically. If you do the same while holding the Shift key and moving the scroll wheel up and down, it will move the page right and left, so it's horizontally. The other thing you can do, you can hold the Control key on your keyboard and move the arrow. So I'm moving right, left, up and down. So you can use the 4 arrows on your keyboard. If you want to do like going around the whole screen, so then you hold and click on the scroll wheel of your mouse, and basically I'm moving around to go to anywhere. And the advantage of this, let's say I zoomed out and I have everything on the screen on the very left, and you did go really further, and now the screen is blank. You think, oh, where is my design gone? So it's very helpful with zooming out and in and panning to learn really how to go back quickly to your first screen. I hope this tutorial was useful for you. Next time we'll start learning the first shape and how to draw our first rectangle and making beautiful shapes of a square and different patterns. And if you have any question, please comment below. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching, and see you in next tutorial.